Thank you, Madam Speaker. Let me start by welcoming the debate for 16 days of activism today. The role of men combating gender-based violence and femicide is where it starts and ultimately where it ends. The role of men in combating GBVF determines how many women keep dying, keep being violated, keep being abused at the hands of violent men. As broad of a topic this is, it's really a simple thing. The violence perpetrated towards women by men must stop. It is men who need to combat GBVF because it is men who perpetrate violence against women. I will say upfront that there are men that work hard to combat GBVF, but we need more. I am reminded by the famous meditation from French philosopher René Descartes, I think, therefore I am. We all have the capacity to determine our own attainability of knowledge. The need to learn, unlearn, and relearn is a responsibility we all have. This is the only way we can change society and make South Africa a better country. The role men have to play is literally all of it. GBVF is not an issue women should bear the responsibility of fixing, yet here we are. It is women who are at the forefront of this fight, while men often take a supportive role. This is so absurd if you think about it. If men stopped the violence, we would not live in a country with one of the highest GBVF rates in the world. In the second quarter alone, we have seen over 10,000 rapes being reported, over 1,500 sexual assaults, over 200 domestic violence murder charges, and over 7,000 domestic violence cases. And this is only what has been reported. These are not just stats. These are the lives of women. These are human beings. The truth is, women are not safe in this country because we are not seen as equal autonomous beings. GBVF happens to all types of women, by all types of men. None of us are immune. The struggle of women more often than not lay at the hands of violent men, and men have the responsibility to bear this burden. There must be a level of responsibility to work on the emotional and mental well-being of men, to get healing from the trauma so many men go through. The patriarchy affects men just as much as women, and we must speak out about it more. It is men and women that must raise their families without gender stereotypes and to actively and consciously fight the patriarchy. As much as this requires a whole of society approach, the culture you instill in your children is dependent on how they are raised at home. We must start opening spaces which men fully occupy, especially in government and the private sector, to see women as equal. Men in this country must hold each other accountable. Again, as women, it should not fall upon us to keep you accountable. It is important to be aware of how people speak and joke around rape and the role of women. Calling out misogynist jokes and comments some men make around braais in the barbershops or with friends is an example of how you can hold each other accountable. If not, this is perpetuating violence and saying that this sort of behavior is acceptable. It is not acceptable. It is men that must call out other men for their violence, no matter what form it takes. The more men that stand up to other men against violence towards women, the better. Now, please do not misunderstand me. I am not here asking for allyship. I am asking for common decency. As women, we should not need to fight just for the right to exist. I want to also acknowledge those men that do stand up for GBVF and who continue to unlearn the devastating and dangerous effects of the patriarchy and misogyny. It is these men that have worked and continue to work tirelessly to change the social fabric along with women. It is the fathers that teach their families that we cannot progress without men and women working together as equals. It is the leaders in society that respect women's places and actually open up spaces without conflict for the progress of women and society as a whole. It is husbands and boyfriends that treat women with love and kindness and make them feel safe. It is organizations like Langa for Men and Not in My Name that are some of the male-led organizations that understand the role of men goes beyond a supporting role, but must take full responsibility in the fight against GBVF. We need more of you. Men must inspire the next generation of men to take up the mantle and work towards a more fair and equal society. We cannot combat GBVF if we do not start challenging the factors such as misogyny, sexism, patriarchy, gender stereotypes, and lack of emotional and mental well-being and support for men. This must be done within our homes, within our workspaces, within schools, and within all spaces you as the individual occupies. This, honorable members, is our shared responsibility, and we owe it to the next generation to do so. I thank you.